If you're under $100,000 in revenue, or if you're over $10 million, everyone struggles to identify what's important and then how to action it.
We were way behind on keeping our numbers up to date, and we're kind of go driving blind. And then yeah, when once we finally found out where we're actually sitting, we were way in the hole.
If you're reactive today, you're already losing. So make that your first note. Your information should be proactive so that you can see and forecast into the future. So, very important to know that you have to have a rhythm and alignment across your teams as well. So, what does that mean? That means that you, as the owner, should not be the only one reviewing your data. Your leadership team should be and have access to data that allows them to be empowered to make decisions. You live and you die with cash flow. And that is something that most entrepreneurs miss the mark on.
We're at one point doing 15 plus million dollars in revenue, but our bottom line was in the minus. So that's when you start really thinking, what are we doing here?
You may think, hey, I've captured business because my market is wide, but great job by growing your market at a cheap rate. When your labor's high, you're just going out of business. It's a race to the bottom. And if you're doing that today, you are driving blind. I can guarantee it. Your business will eventually suffer a financial crisis.
You have to actually be serious about and willing to do what it takes to change those numbers. If once you start reporting and the numbers show a different picture than you want the outcome to be.
Now, here's important. Data doesn't lie.
Hmm.
Data doesn't lie. I had a conversation this week with our CFO, and we were talking about specifically the utilization on our equipment and the impact that it's had on the bottom line. And the numbers don't lie. We focused on a KPI that yielded results on two very strong KPI metrics, and now we're seeing the financial win with it. So you want to have a weekly review to identify those red KPIs and then start to ask why 5 times. So, what I often struggle with is teams that see red and take no action. They make no decision. And what I hear often is they're afraid of making the wrong choice. I take action. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it is unpacking the KPI and saying we're going to put some more process in it, we're going to have somebody else manage it, or we're going to remove the person managing it. Once you achieve that KPI from red to green, celebrate the turnaround. Okay? Celebrate the win. Talk to your individual about their successes and what did they learn about it. Why am I saying this? Most organizations skip this part. They get it to green and they move on. I want you to learn from your mistakes because I make them all the time. And what's important is that you own them, that you say, hey, I did it. That was on me. We don't hide around the reds and make it feel like it's normalized for them to be in the red. We take action. We allow maximum of 3 data points in the red, and then we deep dive it.
If you, as the owner, isn't going to take ownership and do something about it, nobody else will. So it has to come from the top down of taking ownership and taking action and leading the way.
With getting shit done in the business. And so we're going to make sure that you now go and implement the tools that we're talking about here week to week. So that's your challenge for this week. And that's the segment today around KPIs and how to tackle them and take some action. I've done it. If there's a flaw of mine, is I don't celebrate wins enough because I like to move on to the next challenge. And so I'm like, fixed, win, good, challenge, go. And then I've got to remember, man, I didn't even thank them for that. I have to work more on that.
Yeah, I wish I was thinking, I think back to some of the other companies, bigger companies that I've had and owned and ran. I wish I knew some of this stuff back then. I had done so much better. My goodness sakes.
Mhm.
I love this piece. Live coaching, right in the moment advice. I mean, if this isn't value, I don't know what is.